Welcome back to Trump Tuesday, episode 29. Let's get right into the news. In this episode, I'll be covering the Democratic National Convention highlights. Starting with day 1, or last Tuesday. The DNC started off with kids from each state singing the national anthem. Key figures like Governors Andrew Cuomo, Gretchen Whitmer, and of course, Bernie Sanders. Seen here, sitting in front of Groot's whole family. And when the time came for Bernie to give his address, let's just say he did not hold back against criticizing Trump.
During this president's term, the unthinkable has become normal. He has tried to prevent people from voting, undermined the U.S. Postal Service, deployed the military and federal agents against peaceful protesters, threatened to delay the election, and suggested that he will not leave office if he loses. This is not normal, and we must never treat it like it is. Together, we must build a nation that is more equitable, more compassionate, and more inclusive.
That's right. More equitable, more compassionate, and more inclusive. Compared to the RNC, more unjust, more unsympathetic, and more exclusive. The main theme for the DNC was courage, unity, and patriotism, and they focused hard on patriotism, because many agree that if we want to defeat Donald Trump in November, we have to win over some Republican voters as well. And if there's one thing we know about Republicans, is that they love their country. And there's nothing like loving your country by using secret police to attack and detain peaceful protesters. Another key figure that spoke was former First Lady Michelle Obama. She symbolized a powerful message in the speech.
Donald Trump is the wrong president for our country. He has had more than enough time to prove that he can do the job, but he is clearly in over his head. He cannot meet this moment. He simply cannot be who we need him to be for us. It is what it is. If you think things cannot possibly get worse, trust me, they can and they will if we don't make a change in this election.
That is powerful. She's basically saying that you need to vote to elect Joe Biden in this election. And if not, Trump will make things worse, even if it seems like it can't get any worse. Which gives the question to all undecided voters. How do you just sit there and think, I wonder if Donald Trump should get 4 more years of office? After everything he's done to ultimately damage our country, he boasts about things he's never done, he takes credit for things done in the Obama administration, and on top of all that, he botched the response to the coronavirus pandemic. Anyways, let's move on to day 2 of the DNC. We had speakers like Bill Clinton, Colin Powell, AOC, Joe Biden's wife, Jill Biden, and then we had the roll call. Now, what was interesting about this roll call is that instead of shouting into a mic into a crowded arena, delegates from each state stood in the most prominent area of that place. For example, for Nevada, it was the Las Vegas sign. For American Samoa, they stood on a beach with an amazing view of mountains in the background. And then there was Rhode Island, with a fresh surprise appearance of calamari.
Lucky to have a governor, Gina Raimondo, whose program lets our fishermen sell their catches directly to the public, and our state appetizer, calamari, is available in all 50 states. The calamari comeback state of Rhode Island casts 1 vote for Bernie Sanders and 34 votes for the next president, Joe Biden.
And at the RNC, they'll have a tin of counterfeit caviar. But seriously, this man has gotten so much attention that I wouldn't be surprised if the DNC announced its new keynote speaker the next day as the calamari guy. This guy probably has more popularity than it's surveying above Trump in the polls. We did, however, see some familiar faces. Here's Pete Buttigieg standing in front of every office in a superhero movie, and Amy Klobuchar standing in front of the Mississippi River. Oh yeah, and Joe Biden formally accepted the Democratic nomination for President of the United States. That also happened. Let's move on to day 3 of the DNC. Kamala Harris spoke, Hillary Clinton spoke, Elizabeth Warren spoke, Nancy Pelosi spoke, but most notably, Barack Obama spoke, urging everyone to vote.
They know they can't win you over with their policies. So they're hoping to make it as hard as possible for you to vote and to convince you that your vote does not matter. That is how they win. Do not let them take away your power. Do not let them take away your democracy. We are going to bring those words in our founding documents to life.
And then Kamala Harris gave her acceptance speech for vice president nomination.
Let's fight with conviction. Let's fight with hope. Let's fight with confidence in ourselves and a commitment to each other. This virus, it has no eyes, and yet it knows exactly how we see each other and how we treat each other. And let's be clear, there is no vaccine for racism.
Oh, don't worry, Trump's got you covered on that. The last day of the DNC involved key speakers like Andrew Yang, Pete Buttigieg, Bernie Sanders again, and Michael Bloomberg, seen here standing in front of $1 million worth of flags. But this was the day Joe Biden gave his acceptance speech for Democratic nomination for the President of the United States. He touched on important topics such as racial injustice, his personal events and experiences, talked about how Donald Trump is dividing the nation, and of course, the coronavirus pandemic and how it's affected everyone in the world. And this is all good and all, but we had another key, very important speaker, Billie Eilish. That's right, folks, Billie Eilish. But don't get me wrong here. I think the DNC actually did make a strategic play here. Yeah, the teenager vote is pretty important here. And now because of Billie Eilish, more teenagers will vote for Joe Biden. November 3rd, here they come. Donald Trump has fumbled in response to the coronavirus pandemic and continues to brag about a worsening economy, and in result, Democrats in the National Convention flamed him on his handling of the country we are in right now, and blaming him for a lack of leadership. It seems like all we can look forward to is
Calamari.
Thank you for watching, and see you next week on Trump Tuesday.